I only read one book, but it's a good book, don't you know? I act the way I act because the good book tells me so. If I want to know how to be good, it's to the good book that I go. Because the good book is a book, and it is good, and it's a book.
And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. For God had other things that he was doing at the time, and he did panic a little when he realized that he had left the taps running, and God made a wind to pass over the earth. And the waters assuaged, because even water does not want to be anywhere nearby when God passes wind. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, because rain was still in the prototype stage, and God hadn't thought about having rain come from clouds yet. And the waters returned from off the earth continually, going somewhere, but where that somewhere would be, God only knows. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat, coming to rest in a number of places that would be proclaimed in time to come to be the actual resting place of the ark, but would later be proved quite conclusively by people who actually knew stuff to be a complete load of bollocks. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, 3 months after the previous verse, where the ark had come to rest upon the mountains of Ararat, on the 1st day of the month were the tops of the mountains seen, which is 2 verses after the waters had returned off the earth continually. So for at least 3 months the tops of the mountains had either been hiding, or this narrative is really messed up and makes no sense at all. And it came to pass, at the end of 40 days, that Noah opened the window of the ark, which he had made, for he did need to get a bit of fresh air, for being sealed inside a big wooden box with an ever-increasing amount of animal shit was making his lungs bleed and his eyes water, and he was starting to wonder why, for the last 3 months, the boat had stopped bobbing up and down. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro, until the waters were dried up from off the earth. For the raven did notice the mountain tops which had become visible, and did not wish to be cooped up in Noah's ark any longer. Also he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground, because Noah could not see the mountains around him, and did not understand that the ark was sat on dry land again. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth, apart from, as said just a moment ago, on the tops of the mountains, like the one that the ark was presently sat on. Then he put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her into the ark, and if doves could scream, it would have done so, for she had just been kidnapped. And he stayed yet other 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. For Noah's window was not very good for looking out of. For if it was, he would surely have seen that the ark was resting on the top of a mountain. I notice that this point keepeth being made, but it is a bloody obvious one. And the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth, and did not think that it was odd that if all of the earth had been under water for a year, that the dove would be able to pluck off a fresh olive leaf off a tree that generally takes years to grow to maturity. And he stayed yet other 7 days, because he must have really liked the smell of cow shit, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more, for either the dove did like us not the smell of cow shit, or it was eaten by something that hadn't drowned in the flood after all. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, which, up to this point, was apparently not among the specifications in its design, which involved building a big wooden box with just a single door and a single window. And looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried, because it had not flooded again in the last 2 months. And God spake unto Noah, saying, For fuck's sake, man, what are you waiting for? I know that the narrative appears to be completely out of sequence, but why are you still in there? Do you like us, the sweet aroma of cow shit? And Noah did say, Yes. And God did say, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons, and thy son's wife with thee, for you have been sat inside a big wooden box full of dinosaurs, and lions, and tigers, and elephants, and polar bears, and lots of cows, on the top of a mountain for 5 months now, for no good reason. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And I shall send them off to their individual unique habitats, which have all been destroyed by the floodwaters, and the raptors will frolic in the green pastures that are sat under thousands of tons of mud, uprooted trees, and dead bodies, and animal carcasses. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, and said, I'll be fucked if I'm cleaning that bloody mess up. I'd rather stay in the ark and shovel shit. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth, after their kinds, went forth out of the ark, because they did fancy stretching their legs for a bit. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar, which was a bit of a pisser for them, having survived the destruction of every living thing on the planet by being cooped up in a big wooden packing crate for over a year, only to find themselves as the main course on a barbecue the moment that the doors get open, and they get out and go for a bit of fresh air, and the gene pools of several species did get a little shallower. And the Lord smelled a sweet savour. And the Lord said in his heart, I will have mine on a wholemeal bun, if you have got us one, with a little mustard and a touch of mayonnaise. And he did continue, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. So killing every one and everything to rid the world of evil was a complete waste of time and effort. Neither will I again smite any more everything living, as I have done, because it is pointless, and being an all-knowing God who can see all things in the future, I should really be expected to know these things. While the earth remaineth, seedtime and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night, shall not cease, because these are all things that are the direct result of the earth being a spherical globe, that rotates once a day upon a tilted axis, as it orbits once a year around the star at the centre of the planetary system in which it is located, and absolutely nothing to do with the wishes of a magical, invisible wizard. But I didn't tell you that. And God did ask Noah if he had any ketchup, and if he had any more of those things that he said were called buffalo wings. And he did try to remember if he had created buffaloes with wings in the first place. And Noah and God did have a wonderful time, sat around the campfire, singing rude songs long into the night.